Okay guys, so since we know how to upload the pictures, we will now declare a function which will allow us to load all the user related information and show it in the app. We're going to our Xcode project, where we'll navigate to homeviewcontroller.swift, and we will create here a new function which will load the user. So I'll name the function load user, open and close round brackets, and open curly brackets. So first of all, we must know what exactly parameters we want to load, like first name, last name, etc. So in this case, we want to know the first name, we want to know the last name, we want to download the Ava profile picture, and we want to download the cover picture. Okay, let's go and do this. So at the moment, we have four parameters. Okay, so for that purpose, we'll write a safe method of downcasting and accessing the first name and the last name. We can do guard let first name equals to current user question mark open and close round brackets quotation mark first name, then we'll put comma let last name equals to current user question mark open and close round square brackets, then in quotation marks we'll write last name, else we want to return, we don't want to execute it further. Okay, so this is how we access the first name and last name. If you want, you can logically separate them like this if it's easier for you. Okay, and I will keep writing here. Then we need to access Ava and we need to access Kava. This is what we want to show here in the header view. Okay, so I'll write here let Ava path equals to current user question mark open and close round brackets, and then in quotation marks we write Ava. Then we'll put comma, we write let cover equals to current user question mark in the square brackets, and in quotation marks we write cover. Else we wanna return, else we don't want to proceed further. Okay, so this is our code. This is a save method. Actually, this is a save method of accessing user related information in global variable. Okay, and since it is able to load this properly, means okay, let me just write it in the normal way like this. Okay, if it is able to load it with no any issues, then here we want to assign it to the first name label and last name label. For that purpose, we'll have to create a IB outlet connections from this label. Okay, we're going to main store board. We are going to our home view controller. That's the one, and we are access single tap on this. We're going to assistant editor, this middle button. Then here we can open automatically home VC and hold left control and left mouse click, drag here. I'll name it full name label. Full name label. Okay, so then we're coming back to our home view controller. We're going to the function which allows us to load the user. Here we'll write full name label dot text equals to, and here we'll make a reference to the first name and last name. Okay, so here we'll write in the question mark, quotation marks, left slash, and in the round brackets, first name, and then we coming out from the round bracket, we make a space, and then we'll make a reference to the last name, left slash, and in the round brackets we write last name. Okay, this will be looking like something similar to Bob Michael, let's say, like this. And let's now we need to load this function in viewDidLoad method, run functions. Here we'll write load user. Okay. Here we go, Bob Michael, excellent. But the thing is that we must make it capitalized. To do this, it's very simple. Here, when we make a first name, we can write, we need to cast it as string, and last name as string as well. Okay, so we will cast it here in the quotation marks here. We'll cast it as string, and here we'll put dot like this. So one more round brackets and dot capitalized. Then this will look like capitalized, and again last time we cast it as string and we put this in the round brackets and we write dot capitalized. It will look like this, Bob Michael. Very good. So this is the result which we wanted to achieve. Okay, so we are now able to load the full name of the user. Here we are assigning sub variables or just variables which we accessed from global variable. We're assigning it to our full name label. Okay, now we need to load the cover and the profile picture. Okay, so for that purpose we'll write a one function which is we write if the ava path is not empty, because if there is no profile picture in the database it will show the path to this image will be blank. So if this profile picture path exists in our database, then we want to load it. Okay, here we write if string, here must be function describing, that's the one, describing ava path is empty equals false, which means is not empty. Then we want to load this. Okay, first of all, what we want to do is this profile, this path, that one, that path, it's currently stored as a string. So we want to convert it to be a URL address, because if you copy this and if you will enter this in your browser, it will load the picture. So we want to convert it to be URL. If let URL equals to URL, open the round bracket, select the method with the string, that's the one. String will be avapath, and here we can cast it as string. Like this. Very good. Why we're forced down casting this? Because if it was able to access the ava path from here, then later on we can force down cast it, because it's now safe to force down cast it. Why? If let's say it will if it will access ava path and assign it to variable this one, then means 100% under this value there is something stored. It can be empty string, a blank string, or it can be a valid URL address. If in case it will be unable to assign this ava path, which is that one, to this variable, then it even won't go to this function. It will break and it will return. Okay, then we write, then what we want to do is we want now to access the data from this path, because we cannot directly access the image. We will access the data, then this data will convert it to the image. So then we write guard let data equals to try question mark data there will be contents of URL. That's the one URL is the URL which we have created above. Else we wanna break it. So, and one more thing which we need to write here is we need to write a return if it's unable to proceed further. Okay. Here, if avapath string, if avapath string is having a valid URL, which means it is not empty, I will write for you if ava is assigned, then or if ava isn't assigned, if ava is not assigned, then in database the link is stored as blank string. Okay, so if the ava, if it has been assigned previously by the user, so there will be a valid URL address. So here we are converting URL string to the URL, to the valid URL type of information, let's say, or just to the valid URL address. Here we are downloading all data from the URL, which is above. So downloading the data. It can be, why we're using the data, because in the URL it can be stored a GIF animation, it can be a video, it can be an audio. So that's why first we need to save it as a data, then we will convert it to the image, to the video, whatsoever is required to be converted to. Okay, so then we will now done converted to be an image. We write guard let image. We use guard because this is the safest method, so our app will never crash. Guard let image equals to UI image, open the round bracket, and select the image from the property or the function where we converted from the data. Data is that data, so we write data. Else, if it's unable to convert it, then we want to return. Okay, very good. So if you will build and run, you will be able to run it with no errors. Okay, and here we are converting downloaded data to the image. Okay, and you know that this image can be presented in the image view. As you remember, guys, image view is just a frame to show the images. Okay, and here we'll write self ava image view dot image equals to the image. Very good. Okay, so here we are assigning downloaded and converted to the image, or assigning image to the image view. This is what we are doing. Okay, let's now try to build and run the app, and we must see that there is some image view of the user. I think my server isn't running. Okay, we need to do one more thing. All of this if statements, we must run it in the background queue because we don't want to wait till the process will complete then to run the other functions. Dispatch as dispatch queue dot main and dot asynchronously. You can assign it to that method like this. And we'll just now try to debug our, here we go. Now it's working perfectly fine. Excellent, guys. Very good. So that is the brilliant. This is how we can download and show our image to the users. And one more thing which we need to do is, if in case if it will fail to load this image, we want to still show there a placeholder. What we can do is this dispatch queue, let's put it here, so the full process will go on the background thread. Here we go. So we want the full process to go on the background thread. This is the best user experience which we can give to our users of our app. Okay, so let's say if it is failed to let's say if there is the URL, if it is not blank, then it will not execute. If it is blank, it will not execute this. In case if it is not blank but it tried to load the URL and then it tried to access the data from this URL and it failed, let's say for example, then what we need to do is we want to assign to Ava image view our placeholder image. Here we'll select with the named. It must be user.png. User.png. Very good. And the same one we want to do in case if it will fail to convert our data to be being an image, then we want to show a placeholder in case if it will fail. Very good. So this is the function of downloading the profile picture from the server, but we need to do the same for our cover image. So what I think will be the best idea is to keep a one unique function which can download the both as for cover and as well as for the Ava. How we can do this? I will create here a separate function which we will name download image, open and close bracket, open curly bracket. So let's just cut this function which we wrote from if like this and till here. Cut this and put it inside download image. So first of all, what is not unique variables that we have? First of all is a Ava path. So it means we need to create the path of type string, and this path we will replace by this path. Then what we have, this path will replace as well. Then another one is image view. Here we put comma and we write image view of type UI image view. So this image view, this Ava image view will replace it by image view, which is a reference variable. And the same for all the Ava image views. So that is it, I believe so. We'll write download image. This from will be description and we'll write the path. Okay, very good. So this function allows us to download the image from certain URL string. Okay, excellent. So very good. Now this download image, we will launch it in our load user. I'll write download image from, we want to download it from Ava path, and we want to assign it to, and we want to show it in, if you want you can write like this even, so then we'll have to rewrite it. Here from, we want to download it from Ava path and we want to show it in Ava image view. Very good. And here we will have to force down cast it. We will need to cast it as a string. So excellent. The same we will do for the cover. Download image from cover path, should be cover path. We will make it a string and we want to show it in cover image view. Excellent, very good. So here we are downloading the images and assigning to certain image views. Okay, this is a function which we created below. So that is really excellent. Here we don't need to force down cast it. We'll just make it like this. And this function loads all user-related information to be shown in the header. Very good, guys. Okay, we'll now load it and we'll see how it will then load the both of the image views or both of the images. Excellent, guys. So this is the professional method. Rather than rewriting the same code, we can program our application and the behavior of our app to work in the way that we want it to be working. Okay, that is really amazing, guys. This is how we downloaded the user-related information, which is first name, last name, the profile pictures, the cover pictures, and that's really amazing result, guys. Good job, congratulations.